A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. As Jesus continued his journey to Jerusalem, he traveled through Samaria and Galilee. And he was entering a village. 10 lepers met him at that time, and they stood at a distance from him and raised their voice, saying, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." And when he saw them, he said, "Go show yourselves to the priest." And as they were going, they were cleansed. And one of them, realizing he had been healed, returned glorifying God in a loud voice and fell at the feet of Jesus and thanked him. He was a Samaritan. Jesus said in reply, 10 were cleansed, were they not? Where are the other 9? Has none but this foreigner returned to give thanks to God? Then he said to him, "Stand up, go your way, your faith has saved you." Sisters and brothers, the gospel, the good news of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
So good to be with you this morning. And in honor of that gospel today, you heard what Jesus said, right? He said, "Go show yourselves to the priest." Well, guess what? They came to Scottsdale. So you see me kind of working the crowd. I've been speaking to these healed lepers this morning. And I've asked them, to come to Mass. And they're here today. And I also asked them if they wouldn't mind sharing the 9 particular. We're going to save the Samaritan that returned to give thanks. We're going to save that one for last to hear from them. But I've asked if they'd be willing to share with us this morning, what was that reason why you didn't turn around to give thanks to Jesus? Okay, so let's start with the little lepers. These are healed lepers, right? We have some little healed lepers, and we'll go to the larger healed lepers. But if you're here today, if you could just raise your hand, and we want to hear from you. What was your reason that you didn't return to give thanks? Okay, we have a healed leper over here. Can I get close? You're healed, right? What was your reason? I didn't hear you, honey. You were afraid. What were you afraid of? All the other things they're doing. So fear kept you from coming back. Thank you for sharing that with us. I know that was hard to admit, but any other little healed lepers? Oh, we have one over here. Yes, sweetheart. What do you got for us today? What was your reason for not coming back?
I was so excited that I wanted to go tell that family.
You were so excited that you want to go tell your family.
But when I came back, he was gone.
When you came back, you did come back, but Jesus was gone. Thank you. Thank you. That's a good one. What about you? Or we'll have the big kids, big healed lepers later. Just hold on, Deacon. Are you? All right, let's hear it. What was your reason here?
And pretty busy too.
You've been pretty busy?
Yes, supervising Marianne while she was making pumpkin pies.
Okay.
And apple pies.
All right. Well,
and cherry pies.
Cherry pie.
And turkey pies.
Okay, we got busy with Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, well, we're glad you made it here today. You big kid, you. Any other little lepers around here? We got some over here? Yes? No? Looking? Okay. Are we done with the little lepers? Okay, how about the older lepers here? We got any older ones? Yes, sir. What was your reason for not returning to give thanks? You went to go see the priest, so you didn't need Jesus, right? You went to go to the priest, right? Thank you. Any other one? Yes?
I didn't realize that not only my body was healed, but my inside, my spirit was healed.
You didn't realize that not only was your body healed, but also your spirit. So that got in the way of. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, leper. Any other? Okay, we got some over here. Yes. What? You're afraid and you didn't understand. Wow. And now you know better, right? Yeah. You were celebrating. Party got in the way of giving thanks. Do you ever have a party get in the way of giving thanks? Wow. Okay, we got a leper over here. Yes, sir. What was your reason for not coming back? Life has a tendency to be relentless and even though you get a couple of good things, life can beat you down so much. It's harder to appreciate than what you do have. So that's beautiful. Yeah, we're blinded. We get focused on the bad things that are happening. Yes, big leper today from Huntington Beach. How's my leper colony in Huntington Beach? That's another homily.
My personal fear of COVID.
Oh, fear of COVID. Got rid of the leprosy, but you're afraid of COVID, right? Being here today is so wonderful.
Because I'm able to experience the warmth that I've learned from the Franciscans.
I don't know how to say it. He said he's grateful to be here to experience once again the warmth of the Franciscans. Thank you, Jack. Yeah. Yes, Rosemary the leper.
I was following the law of Moses, which said if I got healed from leprosy, I should go show myself.
Following the law of Moses said, go to the priest.
So now I can come back to the temple.
Now you're back at the temple. Here you are. You're following instructions. You didn't do anything wrong. You're giving thanks. All right. Okay, leper Anthony, what do you got for us today?
I can see myself going back, but
You saw yourself going back, but, this is the big but,
I feel
like most teenagers today are spoiled. Probably felt entitled. You deserve this healing, right? You don't need to give thanks, right? Thank you. That's brave of you to say that. We all. Am I missing any other of the healed lepers? And before we focus on the one that did return to give thanks. Oh yes, we got some choir lepers. Healed. Sorry, they're healed lepers. Yes.
I was so busy with all my other outside tasks and choir rehearsal, I just didn't have time to go.
Busy with choir rehearsal. Church activities got in the way of giving thanks. It happens. Yes. Any other? Oh yes, sir.
I got so healed that I was excited to get back on the golf course.
Back to the golf. The golf course got in the way. Yes. Very good. Okay, let's hear. I know there's one that did return, the Samaritan. This is the one that wasn't supposed to, right? This is the one that's doing everything wrong. The Jews were not happy with Samaritans. They were worshiping wrongly. But I believe we have a leper here that did come back. We heard we're celebrating the Samaritan. Why did you come back? What was your reason? Wow, you realize that Jesus was the most important being, and that's why you have your faith. Remember, your faith has saved you. The others got physically healed, but they didn't necessarily, at least in that story, discover their faith. And let's all, I hope these reasons, we're having fun this morning, but I hope they touch some of the reasons that you have, things that get in the way of your relationship to God. And they're all good, right? They're excusable, but the thing is, they get in the way. And sisters and brothers, as Christians, we are called to be a people of thanksgiving, right? This meal is a giving of thanks. Every time we gather to celebrate the Eucharist, we're gathering to give thanks before we've heard any great song, right? Most people tell me they go shopping to masses for the good music and the good preaching. Isn't it great we have both here? But before any of that, we come first and foremost to give thanks to God. Okay? And listen in the Eucharistic prayer, the preface, it says, "It is right and just, it is our duty and our salvation always and everywhere to give thanks." Wow. Duty? When we talk about duty, what are we talking about? Things that we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to give thanks. Wow, that's hard. It's duty. It's our salvation. Something about being a grateful Christian gets us saved, right? Duty, salvation, always and everywhere. Now, this is the hard part. How many of you this morning come giving thanks for a hardship that you've gotten, that you had no control over? You know, there's things in our lives that happen to us, hardships. Sometimes we have control over those, sometimes we don't. How many of you are willing to give thanks for something that's a difficulty that you're facing? That's the hard part, right? And we don't want to give thanks for that. Why? Because it might happen again. Thank you, God, for that cancer, right? Thank you, God, for losing work, or thank you, God, for getting COVID, or whatever it might be. I'm trying to give thanks to God for this cold sore I woke up with this morning on my lip. I'm struggling, right? How many times do we give thanks to God for the things that are hardships? We don't want to, right? But for those with eyes of faith, and this is the difference with the one, he got his faith. For those with the eyes of faith, even the difficult things, we see God works in a way that somehow brings us blessing, although we can't see it at the time. Or sometimes we don't see it for a long time. Sometimes we won't see it till we've left this life. But as Romans 8:28 reminds us, all things work to good for those who love God. All things. So if we're a people of gratitude, we're going to give thanks to everything that God puts in us. Again, things we have no control over. There's things that bring hardship in our life that we can control, right? But those things that we can't, these are like sicknesses, losses, these sorts of things. If we hold on with thanksgiving and faith, we'll see how God works them into good in our lives. And when we're able to do that, brothers and sisters, we've got it. We understand what it means to be a people of thanksgiving. So let us give thanks to God always and everywhere, because it's our duty and our salvation. It'll lead us and bring us to be more closely connected to Jesus Christ. Thank you for being here today.